to the architect. There's a canyon that cuts through the desert. Did it get there because of a flood? Was it devised, or were you surprised when you saw how grand it was? Was it thought out at all, or just paint on a wall? Is there anything that you regret? I don't understand. Are there blueprints or plans? Can I speak to the architect? Sometimes I look in the mirror and wish I could make a request. Could I pray it away? Am I shapeable clay? Or is this as good as it gets? And one day you're on top of the mountain, so high that you'll never come down. Then the wind at your back carries ember and ash that burns your whole house to the ground. Was it thought out at all, or just paint on a wall? Is there anything that you regret? I don't understand. Are there blueprints or plans? Can I speak to the architect? And I thought that I was too broken and maybe too hard to love. I was in a weird place, then I saw the right face in the stars and the planets lined up. Does it happen by chance? Does it all happen since? Do we have any say in this mess? Is it too late to make some more space? Can I speak to the architect? This life that we make, is it random or fate? Can I speak to the architect? Is there an architect?
Hello, my name is Cosette. My sermon is about the book Anne of Green Gables. This book is about Anne and who she grows up to be. It was written over 100 years ago and uses detail and big words. This book has inspired me fully. I love how imaginative Anne is and how strict Marilla is. In my opinion, I think the writer is very talented and gifted. Do you have a songbook or movie that inspires you? Anne of Green Gables brings me entirely to God. I can feel God's smile and touch my shoulder whenever I pull out the book. I can imagine her green eyes, soft smile, and red hair. You can find books like this too. You just need to keep reading. I'm sure you'll find one. Here is a quote that I really like from Anne. Why must people kneel down to pray? If I really wanted to pray, I'll tell you what I do. I go out into a great big field all alone, or into the deep, deep woods, and I look up to the sky. Up, up, up into that lovely blue sky that looks as if there were no end to its blueness. And then I just feel a prayer. Speaking of prayers, let's finish off with one. Dear God, help me to find songs, movies, or books that help us be with you. Amen.
When I turned 30, like a lot of people, I really wanted to do something special. Milestone moments are important to me, and I didn't do anything big for 16, 18, or 21. So, as a full-grown adult, I was really looking forward to 30. Only when I actually turned 30, I ended up being 39 weeks pregnant. So yeah, no plans that night. No way was I waiting for 40 though. I still haven't gotten there yet. Hell to the no. Instead, I was determined to make it up on my 31st birthday. And let me tell you something, I did. I planned the whole thing myself and I went all out. Possibly even more, no, definitely even more than I would have allowed myself had I actually been able to celebrate on my actual 30th birthday. But I rented out a small theater room at the Alamo Draft House Cinema. As many of you know, it's one of my favorite places in the universe. I ordered pedophores from my favorite local bakery that had little fondant movie reels on them. My friends helped me decorate the hallway leading up to the movie room. And I submitted funny home videos and YouTube clips that make me giggle, and they played those instead of previews before the movie. We had personalized menus printed featuring drinks such as Aurelia Gets Old Fashioned and Margarelias. And yes, if you know Fran, then you know that these names have her name written all over them. She definitely came up with them. We watched the first of the Fantastic Beasts movie, kind of a nod to Harry Potter, but that movie had just come out that year. And as the credits rolled and the lights came on, the wait staff came out with platters of champagne for all of us, and we did a round of toasts, which I didn't plan that part, but definitely firmly solidified this night at the movies as one of the best and most favorite nights of my life so far. It was just perfection. Not because it was so damn indulgent, which it was, but because it was so me. If you know me, you know I love going to the movies. Before I had a kid, I used to spend every January and February on what I called my Oscar trail. I'd go see several movies a week, often by myself, attempting to see every nominated film I could before the Oscars. Earlier in the year, before nominations were out, I would just have to make educated guesses based on other award shows and my internet sleuthing so that I could try and see them all before the Oscar awards came on. I was newer to the area then, but soon found the theaters that play the indie and limited release films, such as the Regal Gateway near the Arboretum. And I learned that one of these theaters, the Violet Crown Cinema downtown, will almost every year show all the nominated shorts and other unconventional nominated pieces, such as documentaries. I've been to endless Alamo Draft House movie parties, master pancake showings, if you know what that is, or other events at their iconic 6th Street location, which is now closed. I've met the Willy Wonka cast and even got an autograph at one of these events. I've driven all over with Jana and met Sarah and Connor for Harry Potter showings. I've participated in test groups, catching free movie-going experiences in the area. I even sat through a showing of every Hunger Game film at one time over on Slaughter Lane. It took the whole day, but I did it. Mostly though, a lot of you know this, every Friday for almost the last 8 years, save some god-awful pandemic years, Lyle and I have gone to movies together. We roll up to the Alamo Lakeline location a little bit before 5, and our favorite bartender ever, Corey, nods and says my dream words that I've worked my whole life to fulfill. Oh, hey guys, you want your usual? And then, for the cherry on top, he proceeds to fix me a cocktail that hasn't been on the menu since before the pandemic. Yes, this is possibly the pride of my life. So, there you go. A complete history of my adult movie-going experience that you didn't ask for. I think it's safe to say that I love the theater. I love movies. And over many years, I've created a ritual of movie-going that has truly become sacred. And I think this counts. It matters deeply on my spiritual journey because in my quest for a full, authentic, and steady faith, I have come to see how essential it is that my spiritual self is integrated with my physical self. There shouldn't be so many differences here, so much compartmentalizing here. I have come to learn that my spiritual rhythms are integrated with my everyday rhythms so that I can see what is true, that our ordinary rituals are the very rituals that bring us face to face with the divine. These are the rituals that shape us most. For years, I've been enamored and transformed by that mystical realization of quotidian, that our mundane lives and moments are exactly where the divine is found. God dwelling within our ordinary moments and our ordinary bodies. I've been learning to meet this beautiful, liberating truth face to face and learning how to really hold hands with the truth and allow it to walk with me through my daily life. In order to move into this place of wonder, this place of complete awe of the unexceptional, I've had to learn to pay close attention to the rhythm of my life as a spiritual practice. I've had to learn to pay attention to what I'm already doing, what I already adore, what I gravitate towards when nobody is looking over my shoulder or I'm not trying to read someone else's spiritual blueprint. Now, I'm not speaking of the habits that harm us that we need to break. When we break truly free of distrusting ourselves so much, we will know what those are too. And I believe in us to know the difference, even if we have to learn as we go, making mistakes along the way. Attention as my starting point, I have noticed what is sacred to me and am learning to lean in deeper. For me, that looks like watching the sunrise. It looks like time with friends, morning walks, garden moments. It even looks like tidying up and then lighting my favorite incense at the very end. And yes, it looks like going to the movies. None of these things I've always done or even liked. And if I'm honest, I used to actually hate going to movies, and I'm not proud of it. But when I was a junior in high school, I fell asleep in the second Lord of the Rings movie. And my friends back then will tell you that I hated going to movies. Please don't judge me for that, by the way. It's really important to see the first movie first, especially when it comes to movies like Lord of the Rings. The point is, even with the things that nourish us, there's still a level of cultivation that must occur. This is why attention is so important. Pay attention to what you are already doing that lights that divine spark already within you. Lean in, go there. And don't compare. There are no rules here, and you don't need an extra holy answer. Not at all. Just pay attention to the natural rituals you cherish and hold dear. Name them. The naming of them holds power. The awareness holds healing. Gratitude is birthed here, and gratitude can get us through a lot. Knowing this, leaning into it, and embodying it is a true integration of our spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical selves. And do you know what? I think wisdom can be found here, right here with us, within us, and around us, in our ordinary bodies, moving through our ordinary days. Our rhythms are sacred rituals, and we didn't even know it. Proverbs 1:20-21 says, "Wisdom cries out in the streets. She raises her voice in the malls. She cries out from the top of walls on roads leading into the city." And the text also says some jarring stuff too, like how calamity comes when we don't listen to wisdom. It causes pain, anguish, and distress, and those things come when we fail to listen. It says complacency causes ruin that will make us choke on our choices. I mean, dang, but also, it honestly kind of makes sense. Not in the sense that we suck and deserve all of that stuff, but rather because what are the gifts of wisdom? What does wisdom offer us if not clarity and guidance? Wisdom offers a solid foundation amid chaos and unforeseen circumstances. Wisdom gifts us with enlightenment from time to time. Wisdom encourages us with a way forward. Wisdom is divine resource, and we have unlimited access to receiving it. And according to the text, wisdom is not confined to a particular place, to a particular holy place, but rather wisdom calls out to us from every direction. How unfortunate we mostly have not been taught this or encouraged to pay attention to all the places wisdom can show up in our lives or empowered to listen for it. The whole reason this series, Music, Movie, Books, was created was because we were tired of compartmentalizing. Particularly, we were low on energy with reading the churchy, even spiritual theology books. And one day I asked David, can't we just read a fun book? Like, my most favorite, impactful, meaningful reads of 2024, sorry to say it, but they have not been churchy. They have not been theological or been on the spiritual genre of the bookshelf. Rather, they have come from my next door neighbor's book club and the meaningful conversations that we have had in that space. And so there's no reason for these kinds of conversations or the ways these works inspire to be cast out of spiritual conversations. Do we not hear wisdom calling out to us through literature, through music, through TV and cinema? We hear the stories of our lives, of the ages, of the people we love and those we don't understand through these mediums. And so I turn to what has possibly been my most sacred ritual over the last decade, my Friday nights at the movies with my partner in this crazy life ride. And perhaps I only recently discovered I was allowed to call it this, but it's just what it is. Sacred ritual. Consistent, treasured, familiar, safe, beautiful, transformative. Week after week, I take in the stories, fantasy, sci-fi, coming of age, suspense, rom-com. No matter the case, the genre, the drama impacts me. And week after week, inner shifts take place. Is it faith to trust that? Well, I have great faith then. For me, this moment of consumption becomes bearing witness when reframed, renamed as ritual. It becomes prophetic observance when coupled with the shifts that transform how I show up in the world. These are micro moments, to be sure, but of no less importance. This ritual has taught me to pay better attention to the other rhythms of my life as well. And in doing so, I'm slowly learning to recognize and embrace the many ways wisdom calls out to me, surrounds me and dwells with me, divinity taking shape so beautifully. Fully. May it be so, and may you move throughout this week, this day, and every moment, paying attention to the rhythm of your life. May you call your ordinary moments what they are, sacred rituals ripe with wisdom, eager to flow freely and openly within you at any and every given moment. May it be so. Amen.